Hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher's Circus. Today we're going to be watching a replay that I did just some time ago playing against Kalashnikov once again. So I'm actually using a stress team that he beat me with, which is kind of like this Occultist and Abomination. You'll see that the trinket choices are actually really weird, but they end up working out pretty well. So we go for the dreaded 90% hit chance slam, and of course we miss onto that enemy Crusader. That's gonna mean that he's gonna get a very powerful stun onto us and so on. So he goes for the come hither. You know, he wants to get our cultist really, obviously he wants to kill our cultist because it's a very important character. We still have 30 dodge, so we have chances for actually, dodging and whatnot. So the way his team is set up is that if the Arbalest gets pulled, the Jester can just stab forward. So that's a pretty good play by him. So right now I'm thinking, well, I could still guard, but he's just gonna bypass me immediately, right? So yeah, you'll see. Look at the trinket choices. How rare is that? You see the Eerie Eye and the Carnival Mask. I mean, bringing the Carnival Mask on the Man-at-Arms is something that I used to do like 1 year ago because it does a bit more stress than the Pit Fighter's Helm, and you have a bit more accuracy. Of course, the Eerie Eye, I just recently discovered that if you don't have Retribution, it's straight up better than the, what's it called? The Insignia of Rank. Yeah, here we go for a Hans Harry. Because we went second, no, because we went first, it means that he's getting plenty of dodges, which I don't like, but I'd still rather go first, even with these few dodges, because right now, after he gets that crit, we're just going to be able to heal it off with weird reconstruction. And the Sword Machine rolls for 5, which is, it's not great, not terrible, it's not a 0. Definitely not a 0, but it's not enough to survive anything like a Bola, the Stab, a Harvest, Stunning Blow. It's enough to survive Caltrops at least. Like that's the very least it's enough to survive. So right now he's gonna go for a Bola. He does 5 damage. You know, even if with our dodge we don't get enough. Now I'm thinking, I have 2 ways of guarding, but he has Caltrops and Dirk Stab. So if I guard right now and he gets one of those kills, which, let's be honest, is likely, Dirk Stab is a 60% kill chance. If he goes for either of those, I just completely lose a turn. So yeah, he goes for the 50-50, doesn't get the death blow, but of course he still gets a bleed on all of my other characters. So he's playing very greedy. And instead of just going for the finish him confirmed kill, he actually decides to drop Caltrops and just speed up the match, which is something I can respect, but it's quite greedy. And now he goes for the Dirk Stab, which is gonna be a 75, and we survive again. Occultist cheats death once again. That's pretty good, isn't it? I'm thinking, well, I might guard now, but his Crusader is just gonna stun me either way, and I need to keep doing stress. So yeah, just keep doing stress, because that's probably what he was gonna go for anyway. And yeah, there it is. There's the stun. Even with the extra 20 dodge, he was still quite likely of just getting that stun. However, because we went first round 1, now we can do another weird reconstruction heal, or 9 this time. So if he wants to kill me, he's gonna have to spend another 2 rounds attacking, 1 to get me down to 0 HP, and another to actually kill me. Now he goes for finish him. We're stunned, and he only had 1 battle debuff, so the fact that he only does 10 damage is very, very fortunate for me. Because even if I click my Houndmaster, he's still gonna have to do 1 more point of damage. So I'm quite happy with that outcome. Quite happy. Here I'm gonna go for these smiles, so I'm getting a lot of crits. I mean, that was the Hound's Harry crit, that was the Abomination crit right now, which is great. You really need to get the bang for your buck when you're going for the stress abilities, because you're not gonna have the chance of using too many of them, because your opponent is just gonna try and kill you as quickly as possible. Which is what he's gonna go for right here. He's gonna stun me, which means I am gonna repulse his Crusader, but I'm not gonna be able to repulse whatever he's gonna go for next. Which I predicted to probably be a sniper shot into a finale on my Abomination. So my plan is gonna be to just try and debuff him. I mean, in hindsight, looking at his plays, like, now I get 3 afflictions by round 3, that's pretty dang good, and the Jester isn't too far behind. Looking at that play, like, it would have probably just been better for him to simply just shoot my Occultist and just get a death blow with the deck stab, because, I mean, my Occultist should be dead. Absolutely. He should not stay alive right now. Stay alive to go for another, whatever it is. But he's just gonna go for the sniper shot finale, I think. Because why else would he do that play? Of course I have the benefit of hindsight here, because I've already played this match, so I know what he's gonna do. So yeah, there comes the finale. That means my Abomination died with 1 transformation, which, it's not great, it's not terrible. If I had gone second, it might have died with 0 transformations, which you never want to see. Now I just keep on bellowing to just add those debuffs, and as well as giving that Jester an affliction. Also quite fortunate that the Crusader didn't get a Virtue. That would have been absolutely terrible, just beyond terrible. Now, my doggy is gonna drop to 0 HP once he clicks, but he does have stun resist right now, so he can't really go for a stun. So, yeah, he has a lot of debuffs on him right now. I think it's like 3 bow debuffs, maybe 2, maybe 3, just plenty, essentially. I'm very fortunate right now, because I should have 2 characters, but I still have this Occultist, which is just great. And now we are able to get off the tentacles, which are gonna do unbelievable amounts of stress. You know, the tentacles, they do 8 stress on hits, so that's 16, and they do 36 horror on each character. Each! And it's gonna be doubled for the Jester. So even if it wasn't doubled, you're doing a total of like 90 stress with that ability, as well as a decent amount of damage. Which is really good for destroying those enemy backlines. Because paired with the Hound's Harry, they're gonna be dropping to 0 HP as well as having the Horror, which means that his backline is just gonna get absolutely demolished here. And yeah, there's the first heart attack. You know, I told you the Jester wasn't too far behind, just by round 4, now he's taking a heart attack. It's that finale debuff. Yeah, now he goes for the finish him, and now it's a 2v4. It looks like this is gonna be close, but any veterans out here know that if the Crusader survives until the end of the match, it's gonna be really difficult to win, purely because of his heals. The rally to the flame, it's just terrible for you. Yeah, right now I don't want my Occultist to drop to Death's Door on his own. Like, I'd rather have my opponent just drop him to Death's Door than being me doing it, essentially. And yeah, there's 2 heart attacks there. And the Horror is enough to kill the Jester, but probably not enough to kill that Arbalest, I think. So the DOT is also, like, also added up quite a bit between the Hansari and White. Now he decides to go for a come hither, so I can't just go for another Tentacles and kill both characters immediately. And now here comes the slot machine with a roll for 7, which is once again not great. If we rolled for 30 there, I would have said that that probably would instantly win us the match. Like if we rolled for something really high, like at least 20. Now, even with our 30 dodge, we don't get the dodge once again, which is really unfortunate. My Occultist got 0 dodges this match, even though he didn't even use Battle Ballad. But, you know, it's just the way it is. A bit of stress there, 15 stress onto that Jester, he almost dies. But there's a Battlefield Bandage, so the Jester stays alive, and now he's just gonna go for a death blow, I think. Yeah, look at this, I have 45% death blow resistance, because he was lucky enough to get the debuff with the Mark for Death. You know, he got the 30% debuff chance to get me down to 45%. Yeah, if he hadn't gotten that, right now we could have survived that ability and, you know, hopefully held on for a little while longer, but as I predicted, his backline is completely dead. Now it's just the Man-at-Arms almost at full HP against both of his frontliners. Now, what does this endgame say to you? Well, it means that if he doesn't get good afflictions, we will in fact lose. because I can drop him to heart attack and death stall however many times I like. If that Crusader doesn't do some kind of act out, which isn't a mark, which is literally the worst freaking act out you could ever do. I still can't believe they have an act out like that, where you just mark yourself. I think I've only seen that being useful once in my entire Witcher Circus career. Yeah, once. Because if you're stressing characters, you're not playing a mark team, you're playing a stress team. Why the hell would they do something like that? Yeah, we actually get a really fortunate dodge, which I think was like a 93 for him to hit, and we actually dodge it, so that's quite fortunate. Because we have the Carnival Mask, we actually have quite a low prot, only at 10. But as I was saying, like, his Rally to the Flame can just mean that even if I get him to heart attack, he can heal both of them back up. So it's gonna be really rough to win this. Of course, you might be asking, well, why don't you have an ability like Retribution? Well, because this team, with the Hound's Harry, kind of needs that command in case there's a dodge team on the enemy's side. It's quite rare that you find, like, men-at-arms just against a Crusader and another character. Like, in the spectrum of the entire matchups you can get in the Butcher's Circus. Yeah, once again, he's masochistic. You see my mouse just wiggling all over the place because he's been masochistic for all this time and he hasn't gotten one single act out. So he goes for another finish him. We're just gonna drop another Bellow. Another thing about Rally to the Flame side, it's actually clearing the Bellow debuffs as I apply them. So they're not really doing anything at all, essentially. Yeah, so that bit of stress is helpful, but overall it's not doing much for me. We really need to hope for act outs by them. That's our only chance. He actually misses again with the 93% chance. You know, the 5 base dodge of the Man-at-Arms. He really wants to win. He's like carrying all his armor and is like, nah, I'm not gonna get stunned tonight. Absolutely not. Goes for the finish him, gets a crit, and yeah, this isn't looking too good. If we want act outs, we need to get those act outs right now. At this point, if this masochistic Crusader doesn't prove himself to just, you know, just oof himself or something like that, even if he does, my HP has probably dropped too much for us to win, unfortunately, but you can always hope, which is why I haven't surrendered. I know deep in my heart that I have a chance of winning this match. If this Crusader killed himself right now and added stress to that Bounty Hunter, and maybe the Bounty Hunter did something else, but no, disaster. Complete heartbreak of a match, and the finish him, the 90% death vote chance goes through, and we lose the match against Kalashnikov. GG. Mop the blood and collect the teeth. Will you master the metal to return? Exactly. Probably the quote I hate the most. I really hate seeing it. It always plays after you lose a match in the Butcher's Circus. So, yeah, I don't see it too often, fortunately. You know, I try not to. It's kind of like my, it's kind of like reverse motivation. You instead of getting rewarded for doing something good, you get like punished for doing something bad. So that punishment actually works a bit better than the reward, I think. So, yeah, it's kind of something I leave you guys with to think about. So yeah, see you next time.